Before I go into this video, I want to state unequivocally that I am not a LeBron James hater. In fact, I've been supporting LeBron James a lot longer than some of you guys who attack me. I've been a fan of LeBron James ever since 2002. That's when I first saw LeBron James, when he was still in high school. Back when he still had that nappy ass fro, you know what I'm saying, before any of these hairline jokes started coming to pass. I saw him in the McDonald's All-American game back then, and I could see that this was a man amongst boys. This was a guy who, at that age, 17, 18 years old, I had never seen anybody at that title level at that age ever. It would come not anywhere near there to that level. And I knew that if he kept his head straight, if he kept his mind focused on basketball, on the positive things, and barring injury, this is a guy who could go down as one of the all-time true greats, not just a great player like a Clyde Drexler. I mean, this guy could go down as possibly a top 10 or even greater all-time player. And I think it's suffice to say that LeBron James has lived up to the hype and then some. Now that I've gotten that out the way, this video is simply being made to help people out who constantly hear the same points being brought up. It's going to be a new little series I'm going to do, right? Constantly hear these same arguments from people who don't like Michael Jordan and want to bash him, alright? None of these videos are anti-LeBron. They're not. I'm not going to say anything bad about LeBron. That's how you guys try to get me. You try to say, oh, well, why are you always shitting on LeBron? I'm not shitting on LeBron at all. I'm just going to make an argument for Michael Jordan. I want to see something with this video. I want to see something. I want to see something that I'm kind of suspecting, but I'm going to see if someone falls for the bait. But anyway, one of the arguments that I hear is, well, you know, Michael Jordan couldn't win without Scottie Pippen. Oh no, sir, he couldn't. As a matter of fact, did you know Michael Jordan was 1-9 without Scottie Pippen in the lineup in the postseason? And he wasn't playing with Scottie Pippen. Yes, sir, Jordan went 1-9. He sucked. That proves that Scottie Pippen is better than Michael Jordan. Or, if the argument is not that, then it proves that Michael Jordan needed help, unlike LeBron James, who took a team of nobodies to a finals. Now, let's go to this 1-9 argument, okay? It's true. Michael Jordan's team, his teams went 1-9 in the postseason before the arrival of Scottie Pippen. And also it's not mentioned the arrival of Horace Grant. I don't know why that doesn't get added to the argument as well. It's like it's just Scottie Pippen and everything just magically turned around and the Bulls became perennial championship contenders. It didn't go like that, folks. Not by a long shot. In Michael Jordan's rookie year, the Chicago Bulls went 38-44, if I remember correctly. 38-44. I think the year before that, they were 27-55. So Jordan's arrival netted them 11 wins. Doesn't get mentioned much, does it? However, the Bulls went up against the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, this wasn't the Milwaukee Bucks of today, folks. This wasn't even the Milwaukee Bucks with Glenn Robinson and Vin Baker and those cats and Ray Allen. No. This was a spectacular. the best Milwaukee Bucks team outside of the Lou Alcindor and Oscar Robertson days. I mentioned this team a couple of videos ago when I was talking about the competition that Michael Jordan had to face back in the mid 80s. Want to know how good this Milwaukee Bucks team was, folks? I'll tell you. This team had Sidney Moncrief in his prime, Ricky Pierce in his prime, Paul Pressey in his prime, a very young Mark West, who went on in his career to become one of the great. He wasn't a great player per se, but he was one of the best low post players of all time when it pertains to accuracy. Accuracy. For his career, Mark West shot about 58% from the field, one of the highest field goal percentages of all time. All right. You had a younger Alton Lister. You had a younger Craig Hodges. You had a not too shabby Mike Dunleavy, and you had perennial all-star in Terry Cummings, who was a perennial all-star until he, I think, injured his knee. I think in 1992, Terry Cummings. All right, this team was 59-23 that season. All right, they were first in the Central Division, and I think second overall in the Eastern Conference, behind the Boston Celtics. They were coached by a legendary Don Nelson, a Hall of Famer, and they were first in the NBA in opponents' points scored per game, and second in defensive rating, sixth in offensive rating. So this was a team that was very good, and the Bulls went 1-3 against them. Now, the very next year, the Chicago Bulls faced the Boston Celtics. I don't even have to name that lineup. You have arguably the greatest front court of all time: Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish. All right, they won 67 games that season, which is the second most in franchise history, behind the 1972-73 underachieving Boston Celtics. And that team was upsetted in the playoffs by the New York Knicks. That team, went, like I said, went 68-14. The coach at the time was Red Holtzman. Dave Cowan was MVP. And that team was projected to win the NBA championship, but they got upset, like I said, by the New York Knicks. But anyway, that Boston Celtics team, the 86 Celtics, is considered the greatest Celtic team of all time. All right, the Bulls did get swept, 3-0 by that Boston Celtic team. But is that really something that would be shocking? All right. Michael Jordan averaged 43.7 points per game against that Boston Celtic team. He scored 49 points in the first game, including 30 in the first half. In the second game, we all know what he did. They said, well, okay, we'll he's not going to do that again. The Boston Celtics felt, and they continued to play him, single coverage, and the end result was that he broke an all-time record, scored 63 points in the second game. The Bulls nearly won that game, just off the strength of Michael Jordan's legendary performance. The third game, they just pretty much just doubled Jordan or triple teamed him every time. Michael only scored 19 points that game, and they won the series 3-0. In 1987, the Celtics were a little bit more beat up, but they still won 59 games, if I remember serving correctly. They were still a championship caliber team because they went all the way to the NBA Finals. They lost to the Lakers 4-2. In the playoffs that year, the Bulls did lose 3-0. And I think Michael Jordan still had a spectacular series, averaging over 35 points per game. So the point of this being, Michael Jordan went against the top teams in the Eastern Conference each year, performed spectacularly each time. If I didn't mention it, against the Milwaukee Bucks, Jordan averaged about 29.3 points per game, and his regular season average was 28.2. In '87, Jordan averaged over 35 points per game against the Boston Celtics in the postseason. All right. So the point is, the reason why Michael Jordan went 1-9 against those teams is because he was going against the best teams. I mean, how hard is that how hard is that to comprehend? All right. So the point of this video is, for all those people who keep saying, Michael Jordan 1-9, his first games, before Pippen, that's just coincidence. Because even if Scottie Pippen had been a couple years younger and got drafted, they still would have lost, based on the talent that they played, just based on the teams that they played against. You had a championship quality team in the Milwaukee Bucks, a championship team in the Boston Celtics in '86, and a near championship team in '87. So that's a ridiculous argument. I get tired of hearing that argument. And for all you guys who keep seeing that 1-9 bull crap, reference this video.